Kyle Seraphin, great talk show host, a patriot, Air Force veteran, EMT, FBI agent, whistleblower. So we got to get back to basics. More and more, and I've always known this, but it's really true. Changing things is an inside job. We individually have to be better. We have to be stronger. We have to fight harder. We have to inform better the public. We can talk all day about government corruption and all this, and we were asleep forever. At the end of World War II, we were the good guys and the boomers and the 60s and fun. And then corruption came in, and now we wake up in this hell. Well, nobody's coming to save you but yourself and God working through you. So, Kyle, finish up with that statement. I want to get into Sebastian Gorka because he's a nasty critter. Anti-free speech, pro-deplatforming of myself and others, a neocon, became a citizen in 2012, very nasty. And now, I'm not going to play the clips, we already played them 2 days in a row, but everybody saw it. Are there any right-wing terrorists?
Guys, thanks for joining me. John Soto, just coming out, Alex Jones on the Alex Jones Show, talking about Sebastian Gorka in this, obviously, in this one segment here. Again, I do this all the time. I take a really large podcast, just give you like a little clip somewhere in the middle, because I know a lot of people don't have a lot of time to listen to a 4-hour-long podcast. So take a look at what Alex has to say here. It's, as always, very important, and we'll talk about it along the way.
We have to go after, Breitbart editor says, he says, well, Tucker and them are, they're not really right wing, so, don't worry, we're going to get them. And then now new statements about, no, we're mapping out whoever criticizes Israel or whatever, and, your speech isn't total. Very creepy person. And again, he has at least 7 different, because I've been following this guy for years, when he's like at CPAC trying to have me thrown out and gets mad they won't. He's just so officious and imperious, and he's the boss, and he's so full of himself. I don't hate my enemies, okay, but I'm just saying Gorka is such a cartoon character and so unself-aware, and then now he's the terrorism czar, and I'm just like, one more strike against this whole thing, Kyle Seraphin.
Yeah, he's cartoonish is a good term. I used to go on his program pretty regularly. He would text me out, and he was super nice about it. That's the funny thing.
Hello, Kyle, would you like to come on? He's got that
be like
voice.
This. It'd be like, and now we have a very great patriot indeed, and a whistleblower himself. This is Kyle Seraphin, friend of the show and friend of Bob Regina. As long as you are saying the things that they like, then you're on their team. And this is my biggest gripe with the Trump administration. The first thing I ever did.
It's become a cliquish cult.
Yeah, you get accused of being culty if people don't agree with you, then they're no longer the good thing that you used to say about them. He wrote something to me on social media the other day. He said, you're so disappointing that I thought you were a patriot. I was born here. I served in this military. Who the hell are you? Like, just to be clear, what are we talking about? I was 27 years old, making 6 figures, working for a movie studio and living like a dream life for a lot of people. And I was like, I'm not really serving anybody. I'm not really adding any value to this country. What is my purpose? I'm going to go enlist and be an E3 and make $18,000 a year and live in barracks with like retarded 19-year-old children. And I did. And I'm glad I did it. Like, it made me a better man. But for someone to tell me whether I am or am not a patriot, whether Tucker Carlson's allowed to have an opinion.
See you're not a patriot now. When all you get is fired, sued, attacked, me too, to tell the truth, then he's sycophantically, in fact, in the dictionary, I'm not trying to be mean to him, but I wouldn't be surprised down the road in the dictionary or the encyclopedia with the definition of a sycophant, it's a picture of him, because he's totally ingratiates himself. Oh, take the shots, lockdowns are good. Oh, censor everyone, until it was Trump. And it's just like, he's a bloviating.
I can see this coming, Alex. So this is a good pivot towards where we're with the COVID whistleblower from the CIA, which I reached out to you about earlier. But this is a great pivot. They didn't solve these problems, and I see them coming back to haunt us. And if somebody else did it, it would be bad. But luckily, it's going to be Donald Trump doing it, so it's going to be a good thing. If we have a Hanavirus lockdown, I've already seen Glenn Beck start pivoting this way. The other day, I was like, how do people excuse some of the things that I've seen Donald Trump say? I'm not against Trump instinctively, but when he says things that are dumb, like, I don't care about your financial situation, I only care about whether Iran has a nuke, I'm like, well,
I mean, just from a position of handing our political enemies the jackpot. That's the lottery ticket.
Don't give them This don't who was it? Daniel Bongino used to always say that politics is all about sound bites and snapshots. You want to give somebody the soundbite that says, "I don't care about your financial situation." There is nothing more tone deaf to a regular American person who goes, forget about buying a house, because that's not an option for most people under 30 right now. They drive up to the gas station, and it was $220 here in Austin to fill up like my minivan or my wife's minivan, and now it's $368.
Hey! I was never rich, super rich like they said. If I was, that'd be fine. I would expect, but it was all lies, hundreds of $1 million. I know that was true, but I got a little bit where I wasn't worried about money when I had extra. It's been good that I'm crushed down to a tiny budget because I get to feel it. I get to go to literally the grocery store. Well, I'm not going to get that. I'm going to get this, and I'm not going to get the porterhouse. I'm going to get the filet because literally I don't have any money, and then I've got more than most people, and I'm like, my God, this is horrible. I mean, this is bad.
This is actually it.
He's not going to get the porterhouse. He's going to get the filet. Jones needs some lessons in meat, but we'll excuse him on that one.
Like, Alex, I can afford to fill my gas tank. I don't even have to drive anywhere. Like, I'm sitting in my house right now and I'm talking to you, and this is what I do for work. So I'm in a very blessed situation where financially my needs are met and I'm not in danger of my children going hungry or anything like that. So I'm very blessed knowing that. I also am a regular person. I just went and ran out in my neighborhood, and I'm jogging by regular people who are driving to work and doing lawns. And, my neighbors do regular jobs. And I used to be a regular guy 5 seconds ago, and I'm slightly not a regular guy, even though I still mow my own lawn. Okay. There is an important thing that is lost when you find people that the entire administration is full of media types. When you've got 46-year-old non-parents running the FBI who fly around in a private jet and think that that's okay, who don't understand that they're not normal and they're multimillionaires, not because they've done anything great or they have any skill.
Well, they're in a bubble. They're in a bubble.
Yes.
But even worse is
that's it.
When you take people that didn't have money and power and give it to them, historically, they're even worse. Like 99% of people. You
find out what kind of person they are. Yeah, there's nothing, like, what do they always say? If you want to find out someone's character, give them some power. It's not people who are broke that are down and out. What are they going to lose? It's the people that have everything to lose. And this is the thing that this is where I think America feels like they may have miscalculated. And it really hurts. We put a guy in the office the first time around with Donald Trump where people were like, this guy has FU money. They put people in this administration that theoretically have FU money. And everybody who has FU money, you're like, okay, the only thing that's valuable about having FU money is being able to say FU when someone comes to you and leans on you.
And we believed he was going to go fully to bat, and he did pretty much the first ad man. And then I guess this time just decided to sell out to the system. But shifting gears back into major issues, because I want to hit the CIA.
That's where you find out, though, Alex, when they don't say FU and you thought they would, that's when people start feeling betrayed. Because they wanted to outsource it to someone that had the ability to do the thing that they can't. And that's not what's happening.
Well, let's be clear. Let's be clear. It's on record historically that Marie Antoinette at the French Revolution, when they came and said, everybody's starving, released the emergency grain. The truth was, she said, we don't have any, because it was true. And that's historians, even the British historians got that. But they went to get her stormed and killed and her head cut off and she said, let them eat cake. So she didn't say let them eat cake. But Trump's statement about, I don't care about the average American's financial situation is a literal let them eat cake statement. And I'm just saying that is cuckoo that he would even say that. And remember a month ago, I don't care about Medicare or Medicaid. We're a war economy. We're a war country now. What the hell?
Right. And guess what? I think it was the number 8 or the number 9 thing that he promised. Well, we were going to have no new wars. He was going to be the president of peace. He literally said in speeches, I am peace. We're going to end all the wars. He's still out there bragging about ending wars, including ones that he started that are not over yet, which
we really have to figure out and dissect this is going to be an amazing thought experiment after the administration is over and we can kind of deep dive and see what's going on. I mean, listen, for all intents and purposes, everyone knew that Alex was on the Trump train. Alex stayed on the train up until probably this Iran situation that's going on right now. He never really a lot of the others were like clickbaity people. Like Candace Owens is very salacious. Candace Owens is more like the soap opera type personality that gets a lot of views because of the outlandish things that she says and espouses. Obviously, Jones says some crazy shit also, but he was still on the line. He still said that this could potentially go the right way. And it wasn't until Iran and some of the things that he was saying that he really just said, yeah, this is not right. It's gone too far. You can totally see the neocons have taken control, come into power, and somehow subverted into the administration. Could it be that Trump is a boomer? That's obviously a possibility. and he just watches Fox News all day long. If you're the Fox News crowd, you are totally on board with the agenda right now. And it's because that Fox News crowd is not used to the psyops that are constantly going on and being manipulated in front of us. They don't understand that, like, I would say, like a generation, once you're out of the boomer generation, you can kind of understand that how much you're being manipulated and what's going on, the algorithm, the cable news, MK Ultra, all of that stuff is running around in your head, especially if you're in the know. If you're listening to Alex Jones and you kind of understand and you can kind of see it at face value as to what exactly is going on. But to show the pivot that he had, the fact that, again, Alex was always on the Trump train and just recently departed, it just shows that we just got to figure out what the hell is going on. I mean, like I said, we kind of know, but do we really know? And will we ever?
Which is even bizarre. So all of that feels like you're out of touch. And again, back to basics. How did this all come about?
Back to basics. Crawling up out of hell is Gorka saying, I'm going to investigate you. I'm going to watch your speech. I'm going to map out who you are to Trump's supporters that are still loyal to what we actually try to do. I mean, that doesn't intimidate me. That gets me pissed off, man.
I think a lot of people are pissed off, and I think a lot of people feel like they were betrayed because they thought they were voting their way out of something. They thought that they outsourced like the nature of the revolution. I saw your intro kind of bumper video, which is really neat, by the way, the running through the 1984 bit. And if people have a short memory, I will refresh them. Guys like Vivek Ramaswamy were running around the country saying that we are having the spirit of 1776 in 2024. That there was a revolutionary
they basically
attitude.
Co-opted what I really stand for.
That's right. But here's the big part of that, Alex. The crazy bit about all of that was, I think that there was a strong sentiment that if you didn't get Donald Trump as a bleed-off valve to the tension this country felt, that you were going to see actual, legitimate, real violence. Not like January 6th, where like some people were pissed off with a flagpole, but like actual people who have training, who have experience, that have time in small unit tactics and unit maneuvers, that they were going to legitimately move it forward in a violent way.
They said, let's pull back some of the fraud and let them have Trump to pacify them.
That's it. Yeah, that was the bleed-off valve. And so people thought they voted their way out of it. They thought that they were getting the revolution via election. And so we were going to get, and here's the deal. Day one, he didn't even finish the parade for the inauguration, and he's already signing executive orders, and people are going like, oh, yeah, I love this. I made this reflection that I had on my podcast this morning, and I don't know that this will land with you too, but in 1997, Vince Flynn was an author. He wrote fiction, and he wrote a book called Term Limits. Are you familiar with that one at all?
Yes, I've read it.
And the story of term limits, just for people who are not, is that in 1997, there were this book comes out, and some military special operators. This is pre-global war on terror, pre a lot of the kind of operator culture that we have today. But we still had this instinct. A bunch of military operators go and they kill off a bunch of politicians, and then they send this letter that says, basically, give us our government back, damn it. And they're the good guys in the story. Like, they're the bad guys. They're the anti-heroes. But everybody's like, yeah, that nobody's sad about the politicians dying.
Yeah, I think the Mangione thing with 80+% of Democrats supporting it, even like 30% of Republicans, I think that also got a message through to them too, which I don't want to go there. And that's why
Gorka, but we're there.
But Gorka coming out, threatening Trump's base, this fat blob, whatever Euro trash he is, he doesn't understand our psychology.
You sound low T, Alex. Are you low T? You seem like maybe you're an extremist.
Oh, yeah. Stop. Guys, get the clip. He said, those of you that think this is a forever war either have low IQ or low T. No, the Pentagon told Trump it would take years to make the mullahs fall, and they probably wouldn't. So this is a forever war, and what's a forever is crash the economy, and Trump's recovery fails, which has already happened, so he's got to gear up an emergency. Here's Gorka the gay whale just last night. You're low T. You're not a man. And you look at him when he poses with guns, he looks like he's got a lot of sugar in the tank. It's not bad that he's a gay whale. I mean, I'm not saying he's gay, but he's a spirit. My gaydar is like pegs, like gay. Like break, danger.
I love pulling this stuff out of you, Alex. This is my joy.
No, it's like, look at that. That's gay right there. Okay, that's like,
that's a serious face.
Well, no, he's looking at a big old ding dong. He's like that. He gets like a dog that sees a quail in the bushes or something, a pointer. I mean, look at this. The gay whale. So
he's got my shorts.
I am in the administration. I am the terror czar. Bow in fear to me, you wretched knave. Here he is, your low T. Here he is.
Bad.
I had, sadly, a putative conservative journalist today from the Daily Caller ask me an asinine question. He said, how is the operation against Iran not another forever war? The idea, I mean, you just have to be either low T or you have to be mentally challenged to compare decades of forever wars with thousands of American casualties to the pinpoint accuracy of what we're doing in Operation Epic Fury with no boots on the ground.
I was spooning with Cash Patel. That's a joke, Cash. You don't need to sue me, but if you want to, go ahead. Sorry, I'm cutting in on you like you're making so many good points. Just go ahead, Kyle. I'm gonna shut up.
No, this is like I'm telling you, this is what makes me happy is being able to lure you into these funny little rants because they're so funny. It's like what Americans are going like, yeah, that's how I feel. That's how I feel about it.
You're low T if you don't love this war. Grow some testicles. Grow some testicles.
It's so silly. It's frustrating because, again, we had this huge opportunity. We had an opportunity to do something important. And instead what we saw is that this administration came in and just wanted to finish, like they wanted to do their version of what the other ones did.
Yeah,
do you remember that everybody under
Trump didn't come to get his.
Look at this orca whale.
Trump didn't come to get his in the first administration. It's true. This time he just said, I'm joining the dark side. In fact, I'm going to be the dark side.
I suppose so. This is the ring of power is the analogy I always use. The other thing is this. Okay, so term limits was like part one of the argument, 97, Vince Flynn. So there was a moment in time. By the way, our national debt was less than 10 trillion at that point, and they were talking about how in a couple of years it might be at 10 trillion. Now we're coming up on 40, so that's pretty amazing.
It's now bigger than the GDP debt service.
Right, and we've quadrupled it in my lifetime. And I'm not that old.
Sounds so like you're low T. What do you wear?
Indeed.
What do you wear? Strait of Hormuz closes, but that's the meat cake.
That's the Strait of Epstein in my world over here.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah, what's going on with the Epstein cover up?
Well, it's interesting. Did you say that Trump has actually hired Paul Weiss as a firm?
They did a settlement. He's been protecting him. And now he's letting Paul Weiss attack whoever he wants. He's basically in league with him. He's taking their talking points. So
do you know that Brad Karp was one of the guys who had to step down? He was the chairman of Paul Weiss, and he had to step away because of the exposures in the Epstein. Yep. Yeah, it's just fun when all these things end up coming back.
Let's be clear. He was the crisis.
Good.
You okay? Yeah. I think we just punched the wrong show up real quick. There's another guest. He's coming up. But new studio, a few things. It's kind of fun. It's like live TV, which it is. Tell people, didn't that Paul Weiss head guy, he was the crisis manager for major universities and groups with Epstein, right?
He was answering all these questions. I was trying to look up on it before we went live. There were emails saying that he was connected. He was Woody Allen was asking about client matters.
Yeah, no. He was a crisis manager for him.
That checks out. He was the chairman of that law firm, so he had to step away from his space in there as like the lead guy.
What a national power!
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the computers. We need to go to rebroadcast for a little while, or what's going on, guys? This is a fun.
It's
a great new system, but no one's even talking to me. I'm not even sure if we're on air right now.
that sounds about right.
Hey, it's kind of fun. Like you got other hosts like chopping in. It's a new thing. It's a beautiful world. Anyways,
anything could happen, Alex.
New studio. We're figuring out the bugs. Sorry. Back to Paul Weiss.
Yeah, I didn't dig deep enough into him. I just remember he was one of the names. So when you said it, I was like, wait, where have I heard Paul Weiss recently? And apparently we're not talking about all the people that have disappeared that were, that were implicated in Epstein files. I mean, for whatever it's worth, the Iran war has been very effective at getting people to talk about that. I mean, I watched Fox News talk about kamikaze dolphins the other day, and those apparently aren't real. But that doesn't stop them from doing whole segments about how exciting it would be that the Iranians are angry dolphin killers.
Only the U.S. has kamikaze mine-laying dolphins.
That's what I hear. Yeah, that's what our Secretary of War went out and confirmed.
These scumbags kill dolphins. Meanwhile, we're the world master of it.
We really are. I had friends that were in special operations at the beginning of the global war on terror that told me that they had operations where SEAL dolphins, like guys that the SEAL teams were running dolphins against Marine recon guys, and the dolphins were like breaking ribs of dudes that were on the side of a rubber inflatable boat. There's all kinds of wild stuff that we do. We like all the things that you hear them engaging in. This is like old hat. Refocusing on this problem, right? There was a problem that was given to Donald Trump.
Refocusing on low T.
The problem was real simple. It's like, hey, you got a government that's not serving the people, right? That's what people were trying to get out of. That's what they were trying to outsource. This was the problem with this is the Marie Antoinette, the 1776. The thing, the elites have something, whether they be a Jeffrey Epstein or Epstein class, whatever you want to call them. There are also this government group, the blob, the deep state, call it what you like, that serves not us, not me, not you, not regular people that are listening to this. They serve more government, and they think they know better, and they think that they're not accountable when there's an election. And so theoretically, that was what we thought Donald Trump was coming in to fix. And that his claim was he was going to stop letting government serve government and get it back in the business of serving people. And how would you do that? You do mass deportations. You would try to fix the economic scenario so that people could be, not so tax burdened and so on. We were going to do tariffs instead of the IRS. None of these things ends up happening. That's frustrating. We weren't going to do war. We were going to de-weaponize government, which meant that government wouldn't have predetermined outcomes like you're a bad person because you say things we don't like. So we're going to go find the crime you did. We're going to let Seb Gorka determine that Tucker Carlson is clearly a domestic terrorist. So we'll go after them. By the way, they already did this crap. They did this crap. And the current FBI, the current DOJ,
Hold on, I was
weaponized
about to say,
group.
we don't want to make each other's victims. You've been criminally investigated. It's been classified. So have I. I send you the latest. You send me the latest. We've already been targeted by the Democrats, even when Trump got in, the hangover. And now they're saying, oh, you even said like 6 months ago, I bet they come after us next. And now he's telling us. But that discredits them so badly. What do you think that does to the base when they come after Tucker Carlson and other people? That's, again, another Streisand effect.
There's a few people that immediately are going to be on board with it, right? I said this morning, and I think this is still true. Like, if you meditate on this, think about this. Tom Massey is one Donald Trump True Social post away from running away with victory in his primary. Literally, if Donald Trump had his account hacked and someone said, Q and I decided that we're done with the PSYOP, and Tom Massey actually is a patriot, and he's always been on the right side. We were just playing with you guys. Go vote for Massey. He's the best. One tweet like that, one post like that, and there are literally millions of people that mindlessly would be like, yeah, that's what's up. Like they would turn on a dime and never even recognize it. But there's a ton of people that are disillusioned and said, didn't you say that these are the priorities and aren't you not living up to them? Didn't you say you were going to de-weaponize government and make the intel communities like come to heel? And instead of seeing that happen, instead of getting the accountability for the folks that they claimed, like, I don't know, didn't Kash Patel write a whole book called Government Gangsters that had a list of the people that were problematic? If you can't get them because they did something illegal, because they didn't do anything illegal, the next step up the rung would be the systems that they are working within are the actual problems.
No, you're right.
Stay
right there.
I
got a huge guest coming up, but you got other points to make. But I got a consolation prize to you. I'm sure you've heard that they're coming out with a whole new movie about the Odyssey, and then a woman is going to play Achilles, a woman that weighs like 89 pounds and is anorexic. Okay, a woman that says she's a man, and then you have Achilles' wife is a black lady, which I think is great. But last minute, overhead shot, please. They have replaced. What happens when you replace Elliot Page? Replaces Brad Pitt as Achilles. Don't worry, they've replaced Elliot Page with high testosterone war master Sebastian Gorka. Here is Sebastian Gorka, Achilles this is it. Here's what happens when you replace Achilles with Sebastian Gorka. Here it is.
Great music.
Now we can joke around about that, but back to Hollywood's insanity while we talk about Trump going sideways. How would the woman literally weighs 89 pounds and is anorexic. They're putting an 89-pound woman in his Achilles when, it should be Schwarzenegger at his prime. What do you make of this insanity call, Servant, in closing?
Well, this is the whole point that you opened up with, right? You played a couple.
By the way, this is not a joke. Look at this on screen.
This is not a joke.
This is who they're replacing it with.
My good friend Gavin McInnes actually has a theory on this, and the theory is that a lot of this woke stuff is because it takes these movies years to be developed, that we're still going through the woke era as if Kamala Harris would have won. It's a very good point. I don't think that movie would be made today. Not a chance. But getting back to, let me just see if they wrap it up here.
Yeah, I can't remember what Page's name was previously, but yeah. Okay, so look, this is exactly the point that I made in the opening clip that you so graciously shared. Just because we're right about this doesn't mean that we're excited about this, right? Because the alternative is that's subjectively crazy.
It's
Brad
a war
Pitt
on
was a
masculinity, which is a war
freak.
on the family. It's a war on the nuclear family.
If you go, you're not in favor of what Donald Trump is doing, therefore you're a Democrat, you're low T, you're low IQ. It's like, no. I'm in favor of what Donald Trump promised because those were objectively good ideas.
And that's Alex's point. Exactly. Is that he was able to pivot at the, some people would say it's too late. Some people are still not pivoting and they're taking it. They're going to ride the Trump train for as long as they can. A lot of those people, again, are boomers. And maybe we should have, kind of seen this coming. I think that in looking back, like in hindsight, I'm going to go ahead and say that we probably should have known something was up when they didn't allow Doge to really do Doge. In looking back, that was probably the first inclination, at least to me, that this was going to not end well, go off the rails, and that essentially the swamp seems to have encompassed the Trump administration, other foreign actors, and again, just the psyop that is Fox News, the boomer mentality that is the old school right. So to me, like once I found out that they were not going into DOD, or Department of War as it's called now, and then they upped the budget for Department of War. At that point, I think it was already $800 billion. Now they're at 1.5 trillion. It kind of just starts. We should have seen these breadcrumbs and the trails coming through. We were just kind of blinded by the fact, again, like he was saying, that we were promised the things that we liked, that made sense to us. No new wars, taking care of our people, getting our house back in order. And it's not going well. It's a shame. Don't know what's going to happen next. But I think the moral of this story is focusing on yourself, what you can enact in your family, in yourself, in your friends, and your neighbors. The government is going to govern. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to do it well. They're not going to do it. It's not about you. They're going to steal your money. They're going to steal as much. They're going to squeeze you as hard as they can. And the upper echelon of the system is going to gain more and more. That is obvious. This is not, capitalism is a structure of the system, but it is not the system that we are currently existing under. This is a crony capitalistic government top-down run system where we have a capitalistic system is a wonderful system. It works. I make something, you get something, we go back and forth, we exchange, we're both better off in the end. That's not what we have now. We have that in the macro, but in the micro. In the macro, we have massive corporations that are levying lobbyists and just paying people off to do, things that aren't beneficial for the average person. Guys, if you enjoyed this, thank you so much. Follow the Alex Jones Show. He's fantastic. Again, that was a little snip of the long 4-hour program. And if you enjoy this, let me know. Give me a like, give me a share, give me a subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm John Soto. I'll see you again on the next show, guys. Take care.